Okay. Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So please take your seats. This side event is about to start. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. How is everybody feeling? Ready for a fantastic side event? Okay. We are going to speak. Thank you. I like that. It's a good start. We are going to speak in two languages, English and French. So if some of you need translation, please pick up headsets at the end of the room. Thank you. Nous allons parler en français et en anglais, surtout en anglais. Pour les personnes francophones qui ont besoin d'une traduction, il y a des casques et il y a une traduction. Merci à nos interprètes. Thank you for interpreters. So, let me now give the floor to Kalyani Raj, member of the Women and Gender Constituency, to welcome you to this event and start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are we ready for this event? Good. So, wow, that's good. Thank you. Okay. So I'm Kalyani Raj from All India Women's Conference India and one of the members of the facilitating committee of the Women and Gender Constituency, which is, and I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for our event today. So, Women and Gender Constituency has been, okay. So, Women and Gender Constituency has been hosting this award event for Gender Just Climate Solution Awards for past many years. And this the constituency, Women and Gender Constituency, is one of the 9 constituency of the stakeholder groups of UNFCCC established in 2009. And we now have 33 civil societies and organizations with us from across the globe who work on cross-cutting issues on gender and environment. So the goal of Women and Gender Constituency basically is to formalize women's voices or voices of the women's organization who are present here and active in the UNFCCC process, and to develop, streamline and advocate common positions. The constituency aims to bring together as many NGO observer organizations as possible to the UNFCCC to work towards achieving its goal to ensure human rights and gender equality. The principles we work on, Women and Gender Constituency works on, is basically providing a platform for women's leadership with broad and participatory access, transparent procedure, and a democratic and participatory governance. With this short introduction of the Women and Gender Constituency, I now invite my co-host Anne to take over. Thank you.
Thank you. I will just present very briefly to you the agenda of today's event. As you see, a very populated agenda. We have a lot of really fantastic initiatives and projects that we want to present to you. And so we will start. We have the pleasure and the honor to have with us some distinguished speakers. So we will start with an introductory speech from Mrs. Tina Völker, who is head of climate policy in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Industry and Climate Action of the state of Nordrhein Westphalia in Germany. Then we will have our award winners of this year present to you in more details their initiatives and how they have gender and climate impacts. And then we will hand the floor over to Mr. Philippe Galland. We are also very honored to have him. He's a deputy head of the Social Link Division of the French Development Agency. The French Development Agency is a long-time partner of the Gender Just Climate Solutions. and he will present to us some of the initiatives of the French Development Agency in this area. Then we will have some presentation of 4 of the former award winners who have been able to upscale their solutions thanks to their presence here at COP, the recognition of the awards, and all of the support of the Women and Gender Constituency members and their partners, like the CTCN, for example, and many others. If we have time, we'll have some questions from the audience, and then we will invite Yvette Ramos from WomenVi, a very new member of the Women and Gender Constituency, also present her initiatives. We always want to also showcase the initiatives of Women and Gender Constituency members, because this is also very important. And finally, I will present to you what are the elements of this mentoring program that we have put together, as well as the scale fund that is coordinated by WeDo with other members of the Women and Gender Constituency. So now let us start, and I invite Mrs. Tinja Völker to go to the podium and make her speech. Thank you very much. And applause, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anne, for this introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I really hope you had a meaningful and fruitful COP so far. I'd like to thank WECF very much for inviting me and my delegation here this afternoon to this award ceremony of the Gender Just Climate Solutions. My minister, Mona Neubaur, sends really warm regards. She wanted to be here because she thinks that gender and climate really is an important issue that needs more public awareness and more addressing also in policy. So she cannot be here today. Yeah, we want to celebrate women's work this afternoon, which is really important because climate change is never never gender neutral. Women and other gender minorities are disproportionately affected by the climate crisis. They are seriously threatened. It damages their livelihood, health, safety, and also their opportunity to strive oftentimes. So we want to celebrate the work of women for women, and also of men for women. We have Philip here today as well. We want to honor people who strongly believe that they can make the world a better place by educating women, by empowering them to be part of the climate solution, and at the same time create better lives for themselves and their families. The work you do here with this award, but also with the successful projects that you're going to present here, matters a great deal. You give women a voice, you create visibility for their issues, for their challenges, and you showcase that change is possible. My delegation is here at COP to showcase that subnationals matter in the climate process as well. We are the drivers for implementation. We do the implementation work on the ground together with our communities. We are here, for example, to talk about heavy industry transformation, which is a huge issue in Northern Westphalia because we are the powerhouse of Germany. We have heavy industry, we have a lot of coal-fired power plants still going on, we have coal mining, and we are into the transitioning of this process. So that is really an important issue for us. We also talk about, other stakeholders, about hydrogen, ramping up a hydrogen infrastructure. That is really important for our economy as well. And we are also here to learn about gender and climate, because this really is an issue that has not been so much on top of the agenda yet. But now, as we have a female Minister of Economic Affairs, Climate and Energy, she really wants to push this issue. Interesting enough, it needs a female minister, right, to push that topic on top of the agenda. However, we have done some things already. So we have a Climate Advisory Council that consists of civil society groups. Women groups are also part of this advisory council, so we share their points of view, or they share their points and perspectives with us. And currently we are at a very, very early stage in exploring opportunities for implementing aspects of gender mainstreaming into our Climate Protection Act. My thought on that end is really, how can we operationalize such a legal statement that we make? How can we reach that this is not only words on paper, but that this has really an effect as well? Sorry. So I am here also to understand how are others tackling this challenge of really making an implementation of this gender mainstreaming issue. So I was really excited to have the opportunity to speak here this afternoon because you already work with a lot of people and a lot of projects who already have an effect. And I'm very, very curious now, and I think you are too, to hear and to learn who are the award winners this year, what are they doing, and yeah, how have been their projects successful. So thank you very much, and I hand over to Anne.
Thank you, Mrs. Tina Volker. It's really a very interesting and positive sign, I think, that you have put the Ministry of Economy and Industry and Climate together as you see the importance of putting the climate emergency in the middle of our economies and how the transition is able to come there. And you have understood that the gender dimension is very strong in this transition and has to be taken into account. So we are very thankful that you're here to listen to our award winners, discover their initiatives. So I will just give a few words about what is the Gender Just Climate Solutions before we hand over the word to our winners. This program was really created to illustrate and to showcase what we mean as a women and gender constituency by gender justice in climate policies and in climate action. We've heard so much of the negotiators who told us, well, gender, yes, but how do we do? Oh, yes, we can mainstream gender, but we don't know where to start. Well, the Gender Just Climate Solutions are here to showcase that gender counts everywhere. Not only in adaptation, not only in loss and damage, also in mitigation and in finance, in every aspect of the Paris Agreement, in every aspect of climate policy, you have to look at gender and you have to actually adopt a feminist approach. That's what we want to demonstrate tonight. So we are very proud to present to you our 2022 award winners, selected among 260 applications with very solid criteria. The jury members, maybe some of them are in this room tonight, are members of the Women and Gender Constituency. The criteria have been defined collectively as a constituency to make sure that we would apply all our principles into this award. So let me hand over first the word to Delali Adjeje. She is from Togo, and she is going to speak in French. So I hope you have your headsets, and she's going to explain to you what is her initiative.
Merci Anne de m'avoir donné la parole. Je suis très fière d'être ici présent aujourd'hui grâce à ce prix Solutions Genre et Climat et participer à la COP. Nous travaillons depuis 2016 avec 50 femmes dans la filière carité au Togo. Et notons qu'il y a plus de 8 millions de femmes qui travaillent dans la filière carité dans l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Nous avons commencé avec des femmes sur ce projet et nous avons beaucoup travaillé pour qu'elles soient conscientes d'être en coopérative pour être plus fortes et travailler ensemble. Donc nous avons travaillé sur ce point et aujourd'hui, les 50 femmes sont en coopérative et travaillent pour leur développement économique et surtout pour leur autonomisation. Notre projet aujourd'hui porte sur la décarbonisation de la filière carité. Le premier volet Nous avons installé des foyers améliorés pour diminuer la consommation du bois de 50%, la diminution de fumée et la diminution des émissions de gaz à effet de serre. Le deuxième volet, c'est d'avoir un centre photovoltaïque pour remplacer l'utilisation du gasoil qui coûte vachement cher aujourd'hui et représente un gros coût dans la production du beurre de karité. Donc, avec l'installation de ce centre photovoltaïque, ça permettra aux villageois d'avoir de l'électricité et permettre aux enfants aussi de bien prendre soin de leur éducation et faire leurs devoirs quotidiens. Et cela va renforcer surtout la confiance à la femme de contribuer à la décision des projets de développement communautaire. Notons que quand nous avons commencé ce projet, c'est à petite échelle, mais aujourd'hui, grâce à l'obtention de labels bio et équitables, les femmes voient leur production doubler. Du coup, elles sont contentes et conscientes de leur engagement pour leur propre développement économique et contribuer à la désertification, de lutter contre la désertification grâce à l'utilisation des foyers améliorés et surtout dans la lutte pour la justice climatique. Je porte ce projet aujourd'hui parce que je suis une femme togolaise et aujourd'hui, les femmes représentent 50% de la population mondiale et c'est important d'écouter leur voix dans la prise de décision des développements, des projets de développement et aussi pour la justice climatique. Je vous remercie.
Amazing, Delali. Really, there is so much potential in involving and supporting and empowering women in the energy transition in Africa. So you're showing the way how this can be done in a socially just manner, ecologically sound also, because what you have selected are clean technologies, and also you have decided to get a recognition, a certification of your production as organic and fair trade. So really an exceptional initiative. Congratulations. Again. Whee! Let me now hand over the floor to Javed Hussain from the Sindh Community Foundation in Pakistan. You are working with women cotton pickers, and you're going to explain to us how you involve them in climate and social justice advocacy.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you for the WCF that this is the first time to be here in the COP. And this is also good that you bring their voices with the international framework and policy making decisions at the COP level. So this was a missing link, and you are filling that link to bring us all together to negotiate with the people at international level. My project basically is about the women cotton workers' protection on their economic labor rights and social safeguards, and ensuring that they have climate change resilience and adaptation to raise their voice against the inequality and against the poor working conditions. So we organize women cotton workers, and you know Pakistan is the fourth largest country producing cotton in the world, and European Union is the major buyer of the cotton in world, and that's why we are thinking that the textile industry basically grows on the shoulder of the women, because they have to pick the cotton and then the textile industry runs, but those women, they don't have a single cloth to buy. I mean, this is the level of the before of the things. What we did, we basically organized them into the groups and trained them on the leadership skills, and then formed the trade unions of these workers to negotiate with the landowners to ensure their improved working conditions. I like now, you know, the increasing global warming is also impacting Pakistan. Recently floods as well as the heat wave in Pakistan also damaged. So now is the 50 centigrade degree heat. During that, the women cotton workers have to pick the cotton, which is very scorching heat, and they don't have such measures and mechanisms to protect their rights, especially the health insurance, the social safety nets, and the labor rights ensuring for the improved working condition. So we have also engaged them with the policymakers and advocate them for to ensure that they have platforms to negotiate with the provincial policymakers. And finally, since the 6 years struggle, the women struggle together, they were able to bring a law which is now in the place 2020, which is the Women Agriculture Workers Protection Act in Pakistan. So this is how we are basically linking our process, being a male feminist and applying the feminist approach to engage them with the FPAR approach, which is basically the feminist research, action research, participatory action research approach. Then we engage them to identify their issues and to raise their voice with the policymakers. Now they are able to do that. So this is our work, and thanks for WCF that they recognize our efforts, and we will be continuing our efforts with this support.
Fantastic. A big round of applause also. We all know what Pakistan is going through at the moment because of climate. We all know that so many countries are hit so hardly, so it is very urgent that we put in place solutions that really help the poorest, right? And this is exactly what you are doing. You're recognizing that women cotton pickers and so many other women farmers, women workers are hit so severely, so harshly by this climate crisis. And with your organization, putting the women at the center of the action, you help them advocating for their rights. And in doing so, they also are able to monitor the real climate impact and to testimony how this impact is changing their life, not for the better, for the worse, actually. But with the law and with the advocacy work, then they can get recognition and support. So this is really deserve a second round of applause. We'll hand over now the word to Bhavya George from India. Bhavya, you work with the Keystone Foundation, and you work with indigenous women in Tamil Nadu, I have understood. You have created an initiative that enables to bridge ancestral knowledge with modern science. Tell us a little bit about it.
Good evening to all. We know, like, in this world, we talk a lot about hybrids and merging the technologies and everywhere. I think one of the works that we do is the same, which we call as barefoot ecology, which is more like a marriage between the traditional knowledge and the modern scientific methods. Where I work, it's in the Nilgiris, it's in the hills in Western Ghats, one of the biodiverse region. And access is a big issue with the protected areas coming over there. So that's how the program emerged, where we thought, like, where the women speak the language that's in their backyard so fantastically than anybody else, why not use that language and feed it into policies and engage them in governance? So that was one of the major objectives we had, and that worked out really well with training of women by selecting them from villages around and helping them out to use their knowledge that they have because of their interactions with their ecosystems, and understand that how to create the facts and evidence to feed into the policy, as I said. So we have like 20 women in the team who are of different age groups. Some are very young, some are in their 60s, and it's very nice to see how the transfer of knowledge happens between themselves, where the youngsters teach the old ones how to even handle a smartphone. And they become too happy when they like look through some things through the binoculars or the microscopes. So those are some of the scientific interventions that we try for them to understand their own surroundings. And the old people are like really happy to teach the youngsters about the knowledge systems, even the paths that's been forgotten by the youngsters in the forest. So this is how it all goes. But it's also like fantastic how some of the trainings that we have had on the rights perspective comes into play here, especially on the women environment, human right defenders training workshops we had, where they work on intersectionality of access, rights, and then the traditional knowledge. So all this comes together and makes it more a robust solution for the climate impacts that they are facing with the erratic weather patterns that they have hit by and affected their livelihoods. Mainly the traditional farming that they follow up, which is rain-fed, and also they depend on forest for their collection of the non-timber forest products. So this is a solution that's been working well. Now for like a very selected villages, I think the recognition and the award and the mentoring that the Gender Just Climate Solution would provide for sure will help us to take this to many more areas and scale it up and replicate in many other spaces with the networks that we are part of.
Congratulations, Bhavya. I understand that in order to make this initiative as broad as possible, you have linked and connected to international organizations, the International Analog Forestry Network. So that enables you to really also make this ancestral knowledge really internationally recognized, right? So this is truly innovative also and really truly well thought. We're very happy to count you among our award winners. Again, a second round of applause. Well, I think our distinguished guests have been very impressed by these presentations. And I'm so very happy now to give the floor to Mr. Philippe Galland, Deputy Head of Social Link Division at the French Development Agency.
Well, yeah, I'm very impressed actually. So thank you very much. My name is Philippe. I'm from the French Agency of Development, AFD. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. Well, thanks to Madame Anbar and Kaliani Raj, which is the events. And thanks very much for the Women and Gender Constituency organization. You do a very wonderful work. I was very impressed yesterday during the awards, and thanks to and congrats the winners about the prize you received yesterday. You really deserve it. So thank you very much. It's not the first time we are here at this event. Sometimes it's the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs or AFD, but it's always a great pleasure to be here. The increase in the frequency of extreme weathers, events of natural disaster also have a gender differentiated impacts. By example, women, people with disabilities, or more generally persons in situations of vulnerability are much more likely to be people with low income, experiencing homelessness, or coping with housing situation vulnerable. We have seen that during the COVID-19. This is well now studied, and all scientific evidences show that the perfect equality between men and women is a long way ahead. In response to that, how AFD has become a feminist agency, and what does it mean? Since 2020, AFD fully joined the French team in the preparation of the Generation Equality Forum, GEF, and defined itself as a feminist agency. The GEF has been a very good momentum to raise states, private sectors, and foundations to pledge towards gender equality. GEF ended with 40 billions of pledge from public and private sectors that should be tracked by the UN Women. Following GEF, AFD, together with the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, decided to create a special finance vehicle called a Feminist Fund for civil society organization, feminist civil society organization, with a dedicated amount to gender and climate of 20 million. The fund was for 3 years and dedicated to 120 million. Announced by the French State of Secretary, the fund will be maintained for the coming years.
That is a great amount. Now you have to tell us how we made that accessible.
So we be sure that the climate and gender issue will be some thematic of the fund as we did before. We develop as well some other tools, such as the adaptation facility, where gender is well mainstreaming and take into consideration for the application. The first phase of the adaptation facility gradually integrated gender from the analysis of the team in the national determined contribution of the partners country to the studies of vulnerabilities in the field, which include specific analysis related to gender. We all committed internally, and we pursue our effort to foster in funds toward more equality. AFD has committed to invest more with very ambitious targets in gender equality with DAC2 OECD Gender Equality Project, so projects specifically dedicate financial tools such as gender-sensitive budget, as well to shift public and private portfolio to more gender considerations. So the initiatives supported the Gender and Climate Solution Program here, and that we have seen yesterday, are very inspiring, and we observed year after year your determination and innovation coming from local association and youth. So I would like to address my all gratitude towards the winner, but as well all the association and local association that submit their application, but remain very committed to this program. Thank you very much.
So we are really happy to hear that important funds are being put in place and that you are working to make them really accessible for grassroots organizations, and that you work within this agency to take into consideration the challenges that these organizations are facing, as well as all of the gender dimension and the gender barriers that they are facing. Now I will ask our distinguished award winners from 2022 to go back to their seats and leave the room and places for 4 award winners of the previous years, who will show us how they have been able to upscale their solutions since they received the awards. Thank you. So, we welcome on stage Trupti Jain from India, Dorothée Lisenga from the Republic of Congo, Latifa Serou from Morocco, and Clive Shibule from Zambia. Applause. So let's start immediately with Trupti Jain. I think you've been interviewed quite a number of times in these corridors already. Can you tell us a little bit how your initiative has been upscaled? What are the perspectives? What do you bring? Is it just in India? Is it other countries? Tell us a little bit more.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you Anne for giving me an opportunities to speak over here again. So this our innovative climate adaptive technology Bungru, basically it helps the smallholder farmers to save them in the flood and drought situation both. So basically it is a soil aquifer recharge technology where the excess water can store into the soil aquifer recharge, and in the drought time or maybe in the dry period you can pump it out and use it for the irrigation purpose. Now the wonderful part of this technology is can work for the flood and drought situation both, but another wonderful part of it is that women farmers have played an important role in terms of the innovating this technology at the grassroots level. So it is a local technology but having the global applications. So now we are working with the 12 states of India. Also, we have successfully installed it in the Ghana, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and now we are expanding our things in the Rwanda also. And we have already helped the 125,000 smallholder farmers. So women farmers has given us this technology, so we have given back the women farmers to the water rights. We have in the group this technology is very effective, so the women farmers are holding a group ownership of this technology at the grassroots level. And so they have the Bungru, they have the accessibility of water. So they don't have the land rights, but they have the water rights in, at the community level. And it helps them to give them the dignified lives, not only the helping them to increase the 3 times economic income, 3 times income increase in their and upscale their social status. So this is all about the women empowerment as well as the technology. Now this technology requires the millions of the farmers in India as well as in the global level, also the billions of the hectares affected with this kind of problems. So to scale it up is the big requirement and also the big challenge also. We have kept it open source, and in India, the National Rural Livelihood Mission Program has adopted this technology. Is a part of that government policy, and through the government, we are trying to scale it up. So government here plays the major role, and through this technology, we are complying the NDCs of the government of India, and it helps to, serve the SDGs to, eliminating the poverty, zero hunger, gender equality, those kind of the SDGs has been addressing at the national level to the scaling of this technology. And we are also the member of the Clean Technology Climate Network, CTCN, and they also help us to find the right partners in the other countries. Also, how we scale it up in the with the support of the local government apart from the India. For example, in Bangladesh, we are trying to replicate it with the Bangladesh government. Also, CTCN help us in terms of the providing the training to accessing the finance, handling the finance, and how to manage the global partnerships contract. So now we are more equipped to go at the global level. So the local solutions going at the global level, and that which key things is that contract preparations, partnerships, agreement preparations. For that, we have been trained since last 4 years, and also this time I'm in the COP because of the Gender Just Climate Solution Award, which I have received in 2018. So it makes me the more platform, open my platform to access the global level people like from the farmers to the policy makers. Yesterday we met the Dutch ministers and they are also knowing this technology. So I mean its range is very wide, but it's all together, all the efforts has been helping ultimately to the farmers for getting the better prospectus. Thank you.
Yeah, very impressive. So from provinces of India to the Ministry of Rural Development supporting your technology, to the CTCN, so the Climate Center, Climate Technology Center and Network, a body of this convention, supporting you as a member of the CTCN in accessing funds and support to develop partnership strategies. You grow now out to more countries. You've been asked for your technology from many countries already, but the challenge for you is to put in place all of the structure, the training, and also, yes, establishing those partnerships. And of course, accessing more funding to raise the capacities of the entire organization. So thank you for your presentation, really inspiring. Let me now turn to Clive. Clive, you come from Zambia. You are an award winner of 2019 when we were, or 2018 when we were in Katowice. And you work with many rural communities all around a river of Zambia, in the communities of Mumba. You have adopted a very holistic approach. Tell us a little bit about it, agroecology and much more. And then tell us how you have been able to upscale, also contact your Ministry of Agriculture, advise them on agroecology, etc. Go ahead.
Good evening, colleagues, and thank you so much. As an organization, we've been working with rural farmers that have been grappling with a farming system that is led by corporate entities whose interest is basically profit making from the synthetic fertilizer system. And so what we've been promoting is a sustainable farming system that is eco-friendly, that sustains Mother Earth, and that actually enhances the ecosystem as a whole. And so we've been promoting a holistic approach that actually integrates all kinds of farming enterprises that ensures that there is food diversity, food security, but most important thing is nutrition security, which has been lacking the whole entire world currently, because the current food system that is being produced under the agrarian agriculture system is never health, and it's brought us a lot of problem and a lot of cost. And so we farmers, rural women farmers, are using a holistic approach of a small livestock farming system and agriculture system that relates very well. And so we started basically we started with 1,500 women farmers that we've been working with, and as of today, we're working with over 35,000 rural women that are producing without relying and depending on the synthetic farming system. And now, the agroecology is basically a farming system that has existed way before in our communities, in our area. It was a traditional farming system that existed before the fertilizers was introduced. And we are saying we have to go back, because that is the only system that has made Mother Earth to lose its natural fertility. And so we ought to go back. It is the only solution. And so women have demonstrated that they're able to do that. And currently, we are, because of that, we've been invited on government board to come and demonstrate how women have been able to produce. And this year, we were developing a national development plan for 5 years, and we were on board. And the rural women have been involved to make sure that the agroecology system interventions is recognized by this National Development Plan. And also that our project is being captured in the National Development Contribution Programs that the country Zambia is submitting to the UN over the programs, the intervention that has worked and how the country is adapting and mitigating to issues of greenhouse gases. The current status is that we've been brought on board with the Minister of Agriculture to ensure that the country develops a national strategy on agroecology that will specifically have a lot of support and give a lot of incentives to the rural women farmers to ensure that they are able to produce in a more sustainably, environmentally manner as a way of ensuring that their rights are going to be upheld, because remember, agroecology, it is the only farming system that respects farmers' rights, that respects and recognizes the local indigenous seed, which is nutritious, and that ensures diversification, and that ensures that food security is assured among the rural farmers. And as a result, the ecological system is indeed upheld, and then this climate change will be able to talking about mitigating and adapting the situation to farmers. Thank you so much.
Unbelievable. So you've been advising your Ministry of Agriculture on agroecology and adopting it as the strategy, a climate adaptation strategy. Fantastic. And I think you've been presenting on the pavilion today, right? We have a few award winners who have been presenting on their vision on their pavilion. So really, congratulations. Let me now turn to Latifa. Oh, sorry, Dorothée first. Dorothée, tu vas parler en français.
Okay.
Dorothée is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and she works on land tenure rights for women. One of the big demands of African women from the Women and Gender constituency. I'm sure you've read the African feminist demands on our website, the Women and Gender constituency. No? If not, go there and find them. And one specific is on access to land. Ma chère Dorothée, à toi la parole.
Merci pour la parole. Merci aussi pour cette auguste assemblée. Je sais que vous avez travaillé toute la journée et vous tenez bon. Vous êtes avec nous dans la salle. Merci pour Gender Constitution parce que la femme, c'est une héroïne dans l'ombre. Il y a beaucoup de femmes qui travaillent à travers le monde et leur travail n'est pas reconnu et ce n'est pas mis à la surface. Et Gender Constitution et WECF est là pour mettre à l'échelle, à la surface, le travail que la femme est en train de faire et être à la portée de tout le monde, être reconnue et appréciée par tout le monde. C'est notre cas. Nous avions un problème réel au niveau de la République démocratique du Congo. Depuis la nuit des temps, la femme n'a pas accès à la terre. Si vous voulez avoir la terre, derrière l'homme. Si vous voulez avoir la terre, en tout cas, il faut accepter les Solora et les Lévira. Vous perdez un mari, vous mariez avec les petits frères de votre mari, ou bien un autre homme vous hérite dans cette famille-là pour que vous ayez accès à la terre. Et nous avons dit assez. Et nous avons dit aussi l'État congolais, qui est son père, qui est sa mère, parce que nous tous, nous sommes des Congolais, nous sommes aussi des Congolaises, et il dit que les sols et les sous-sols appartiennent à l'État, et nous autres, nous sommes des Congolais, pourquoi nous devons avoir pas la terre? Et nous avons dit, allons à la réforme. C'est pourquoi, 2 minutes, une seconde, je vais vous demander de répéter avec moi, another world is possible, parce que nous avons bousculé les choses, et maintenant, un autre monde était possible et est possible aujourd'hui. Nous avons gagné les gaps. Everybody, another world is possible. Another world is possible. Another world is possible. Another women is possible.
Dorothée, we're coming back.
Merci. Nous avons dit que c'est possible que nous puissions bousculer les choses. Et maintenant, mettre l'État congolais à l'effet pour que la femme ait accès à la terre. Et en 2012, nous avons déclaré la réforme pour que les choses changent et que ça ne soit pas la tradition orale. Il fallait que ça soit transcrit dans la loi et qu'on puisse retoucher cette loi-là. Et avec ça, nous avons fait beaucoup de travail, nous avons fait une analyse à travers les pays pour voir comment la femme est en train de souffrir dans l'inaccessibilité à la terre. Et avec ça, nous avons fait les dialogues multi-acteurs qui nous ont poussé maintenant à toucher au niveau des provinces, les assemblées provinciales, pour qu'il y ait d'abord, avant l'effectivité de la loi, des édits provinciaux, maintenant garantissant l'accès de la femme à la terre. Outre cette mesure, nous sommes allés avec la cartographie participative des terres acquises coutumièrement par les femmes et celles dont elles ont des actes légaux. La somme de tout ça nous a poussé de travailler côte à côte avec le gouvernement, la CONAREF, la Commission nationale pour la réforme, pour que nous puissions arriver à avoir un document maintenant garantissant l'accès de la femme à la terre. Et aujourd'hui, avec l'avant-projet de la loi, nous avons 3 articles qui garantissent maintenant l'accès de la femme à la terre au niveau de la République démocratique du Congo, et les choses ont changé. La possibilité de changer ce monde-là était là. Alors, la mise à l'échelle de ces projets-là, lorsque nous avons eu les prix, c'est à ce moment-là que nous avons été respectés par le gouvernement. Le prix a exigé à notre gouvernement face à nous respect. Vis-à-vis de la femme, respect. Et accorder maintenant l'accès à la terre à la femme. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes en train de continuer là où les femmes ont leur terre pour qu'il y ait effectivement de ces paroles-là à joindre l'acte à la parole au niveau des terroirs pour que les femmes puissent travailler et produire. Et maintenant, nous sommes arrivés même dans la transformation des produits et au niveau des provinces, à tous les niveaux, le gouvernement, l'État congolais travaille avec les femmes. Et voilà le travail que nous avons fait à ce niveau-là. Maintenant, chaque fois qu'il y a la prise de décision qui concerne la terre, les forêts, les femmes participent maintenant dans les affectations des terres et les clauses sociales des cahiers de charges de cette exploitation-là forestière. C'est un gap pour nous. Merci.
Isn't this an incredible strategy? You work from the very local level on mapping at the village level, and then at the province level you have low transformation, and at the national level. And that's how it gets you then also to be consulted on the national climate policy of your country. Really amazing. So now let me turn to Latifa Serou from Morocco. You are one of the young founders of an energy cooperative, a solar energy cooperative. You are going to speak in French, tu vas parler en français aussi, et tu vas nous expliquer un peu d'où tu viens et comment tu arrives ici à la COP aujourd'hui en tant que représentante de cette coopérative d'énergie et participant au projet FAREDEC, issu d'un des projets lauréats du prix Solutions Genre et Climat.
Salam alaikum. Bonjour tout le monde. Je suis très heureuse et très honorée d'être là pour partager et diffuser notre expérience, pour montrer notre engagement dans la transition énergétique et pour aller vers le développement durable et efficace. Et alors, je me présente, je suis Latifa Serou, je viens du Maroc. Je travaille avec Jamila Idbourouz, lauréat du prix Solutions Genre et Climat en 2016. Et grâce à ce prix, elle a monté avec WECF le projet Faridrek auquel je participe. Et l'objectif en fait de ce projet est de s'engager les femmes dans la transition énergétique et qui est un domaine dominé par les hommes. Mais grâce à ce projet, on arrive à créer des emplois pour les femmes. Et comme résultat, on a créé des coopératives féminines d'énergie, dont je suis fondatrice de la coopérative Samparcop, qui était installée dans le nord du Maroc, dans la ville de Tétouan. C'est une coopérative féminine à 100%. Donc je travaille avec des adhérentes qui sont des femmes, ne travaillent pas, travailler, et qui ont des compétences et des connaissances adéquates dans l'énergétique. Et cette coopérative innovante a aussi comme objectif primordial la protection de l'environnement par la fabrication des solutions solaires, à savoir des cuiseurs solaires et des séchoirs solaires. Et le deuxième objectif, c'est d'aider les femmes qui ont dans des régions rurales et qui ont des difficultés financières et qui ont travaillé dans des coopératives des plantes médicinales, des coopératives halieutiques, des coopératives d'argon. Mais le problème, c'est qu'on a l'augmentation du butin, le prix du butin qui ne va plus subventionné par l'État. Et donc, l'idée, c'est de minimiser le prix du coût de production. Mais aussi, on trouve que la problématique pour avoir l'avancement de ce projet, c'est que la population locale a dit tout sur l'efficacité énergétique. Et donc, on a commencé par faire la sensibilisation de la communauté locale, par avoir des démonstrations. On a fait plusieurs tests et plusieurs expériences du cuisson. Par exemple, on a fait cuire le tagine aux légumes, du poisson, des gâteaux. Aussi, on a fait des expériences et des tests sur le séchoir solaire pour sécher différentes plantes et aussi le séchage des fruits saisonniers. Et grâce à ces démonstrations, on arrive à convaincre les gens sur l'efficacité de nos produits. Aussi, on travaille sur un axe qui est très important, c'est la diffusion des informations, et aussi l'orientation et le renforcement des capacités des étudiants et tous qui ont l'envie de travailler dans ce type de projet. Et aussi, on fait la sensibilisation sur la transition énergétique. Et donc, l'objectif est le transfert de nos savoir-faire vers d'autres tiers. Aussi, on travaille sur la création des partenariats avec des organismes régionaux, nationaux et internationaux pour avoir d'autres opportunités, pour aller loin. Et toujours, on garde notre thématique qui est l'énergie solaire et n'importe quelle énergie verte. Et enfin, je termine par remercier tous les gens qui ont derrière ces réussites, et grâce à eux, ce projet vit le jour.
Really amazing, Latifa. You are actually a really senior student. You are working on a thesis on marine biology. but you decided to be trained on solar technology because that is your priority at the moment, and you are convinced that by creating this solar sector, you can help millions of people. Indeed, 3.5 million of Moroccans in the south of Morocco depend on biomass or on gas to cook their food, to transform products. So what you are doing here is extremely innovative, courageous, and we are so proud of you. So continue, and applause.
Thank you.
We have a little time for questions, and in the meantime, I will ask now a newly integrated member of the Women and Gender constituency to come to the floor. Mrs. Yvette Ramos from Women Vi will join us. I think we still have a seat. Yes. And as you understand, this publication that we have here is an opportunity for so many award winners, but also members of the Women and Gender constituency to showcase what they are doing on the ground to bring about gender justice in climate action. And so, Yvette, will you come to the floor? I think we can share those afterwards. I also wanted to say that Latifa has created their, over there, yeah, their website and some brochures that they have brought, you have brought here, right? Yvette, you have the floor for 5 minutes. We're very proud to welcome you into the Women and Gender constituency as a new member. Please go ahead and present your initiative.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I'm so glad to be here with you. It's very energetic. Thank you. It's thanks to you, Anne, that we're here. We met several times, and it's been a long time. I wanted to say a few words about Women Vi. So it is a great honor to be here, giving us the example of how to showcase gender-just climate solutions for inclusive global action. What we aim at is taking off the invisible clock. You know, Harry Potter, invisible clock? We don't want invisible clock, okay, for the girls and women from the world, especially when we talk about women and girls in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. So because we have big solutions, not only social, but also technical, political, governance, etc., for climate change adaptation and mitigation, and it is a path to sustainability. So this is our slogan. Dear participants, colleagues, and friends, good day to all of you. I know you're very tired, and thanks to the NFCC and to the Women and Gender constituency for giving us the opportunity to briefly present our initiative named at Women Vi Academy. Our NGO, Women Vi, standing for women and men together in environment and artificial intelligence, was born 4 years ago. And I'm proud to say that we do present here. We are presented here with 20 delegates. Can you stand up, please, delegates, co-founders, members, Lydia, Richard. We here from different countries and representing all regions of the world. Thank you so much, and please distribute the flyers around you so we can have even more communication on that. So we have been doing such a great job since a long time, in fact more than 5 years ago. Thanks so much, and we're proud of you all, and yet a lot must be achieved, as we all know. In fact, in terms of advocacy, but not only. We like to be concrete, in fact. We engineers, we like concrete initiatives at national, regional, and international, global level, especially in the coordinated actions between governments, on one hand, government stakeholders, and the civil society on the other hand. And still, we think that there is a lot to be done. Women Vi co-founders have tried to achieve that on the field and at UN level since 20 years, before we even legally kicked off. Especially thanks to those women engineers and scientists having a voice with our involvement with this process. For example, the World Information Society held by the ITU, the International Telecom Union in Geneva. But we've been also present at the UN Women. As you know, they have their annual committees in New York, and we'll be there next year. So join us, and various UN spaces that we've been engaged in, namely the Ocean Conference, for example, this year in Lisbon, and the WMO, the World Meteorological Organization Congress, next year, for example, in Geneva, and also the WTO, the World Trade Organization. So we've got entries in all these spaces. Myself, I'm based next to Geneva, so it's easy for me to give you the hand right to these spaces that are high-level spaces, mainly. The Women via Academy program started 3 years ago with the aim to developing digital skills of girls and women and helping them build their capacities to match the needs of the 21st century. Although technologies are becoming increasingly affordable, the acquisition of basic digital skills remains a barrier, and the digital divide persists. With our program, we help strengthening youth employment, creating new job opportunities while ensuring the participation of girls and women in ICTs in all socioeconomic sectors, and offering technological solutions to fight, for example, sexual harassment and violence at school, at university campus, and at the workplace. The way it works is simple. First, we focus on LDCs and developing countries. LDCs, least developed countries, and developing countries, or developing regions. We did it in Benin twice, in Mauritania once, and even Côte d'Ivoire, although it was a webinar during COVID, so not successful, really, but we tried hard. Second, we partner with a local NGO, because we as Women Vi, we come from, those rich, so say, developed countries, but we want to help the South, so least developed countries, we work with the local NGO, CMFA, for example, in Nouakchott, Youth for Challenge, or Amazon du Digital in Benin, RegFac in Cameroon. Am I speaking too loud? Sorry. Just my way.
I give you 2 more minutes.
Yes,
then
thank you. Sorry, I speak
we would
too
like
loud.
to leave
it's my
time for questions.
Portuguese revolutionary type. Okay. So importantly, what we want is to give the visibility and sustainability of the implementation and monitoring of the progress locally. That's why we work with the local NGOs. And we work with the ministry, at least one ministry, higher education or social women affairs or the digital affairs, or environment, all these ministries. So we put them together, and what we offer is we come with a group of mentors, free of charge, so to say, when speaking about the international flights, because we don't want that to be a cost for the country. And we do speak French, English, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever, facilitate a workshop during 3 days. The photos you've seen here, for example, is taken in Nouakchott, Mauritania, with the Conseil Mauritanien des Femmes d'Affaires. And we help them pitch their project or business, bringing technology into a socio-economic sector for the development of their country. And the same ladies, I want to finish on that, we do train them to help kids and girls aged from 11 to 15 be aware of what is a new technology, because usually in those schools they don't have the means. So we come with the means, the tools, we train the trainers, and then they continue to spread the word about how good it is to become an engineer, a scientist, a technician for the future of their country. So any question, please just let me know. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Digital education is so important. There is such a gender gap in digitalization, and so many of the needs are not understood and not addressed. So we're proud to welcome into the Women and Gender constituency an organization that helps develop digital skills for women across the globe. Thank you, Yvette. Let me now open the floor for some questions. We have a little bit of time. I'm sure you have questions for our awardees. I see Agnès here. Do we have a mic circulating? Yes. Over here? And behind, yeah. Ah, okay. You be the second one, Anne.
Français. I can say how are you in English, then I go to French. Thank you. Okay. Je suis Saoudata Aboubakrin de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, du Sahel et du Burkina. Donc, ça fait un moment qu'on ne s'est pas retrouvés. D'abord, je suis très très heureuse d'être parmi vous. Et d'habitude, je suis seule, mais aujourd'hui, on est en grande délégation, même si une partie de la délégation n'est pas là. Levez-vous, ceux qui sont là, voilà. Et on est genrés, hein. Nous sommes le mouvement des femmes pastorales du Sahel, mais il y a des hommes parmi nous, voilà. Donc, félicitations aux orateurs, aux intervenants et félicitations à toute la salle, aux organisateurs de l'événement. J'ai juste quelques questions. D'abord, ma chérie Dorothée, vraiment, merci beaucoup. Et ma sœur marocaine, merci aussi. On a besoin de ta technologie pour sécher nos viandes, nos légumes, etc. Donc, on va prendre ton contact.
Est-ce qu'on peut aller à la question
voilà,
tout de suite?
Okay. Les deux questions, c'est que on a entendu parler des fonds comme toujours dans ces rencontres-là. Mais nous, c'est un groupe spécifique qu'on appelle les femmes pastorales ou les femmes autochtones. On ne les voit pas trop. Est-ce que vous prévoyez plus de mécanismes et de solutions pour nous atteindre? On a aussi des technologies, des fortes connaissances qu'on veut aussi partager avec vous de l'autre côté. Et l'autre dernière question, elle est un peu politique. Est-ce que l'AFD, avec la situation actuelle au Sahel, arrivera à nous appuyer, nous autres communautés à la base? Merci.
Thank you for your question. We'll take another question here from Agnès and the young lady. And after 3 questions, we will start answers. Thank you.
Bueno, primeramente, muy buenas tardes a cada uno de ustedes, a los distinguidos panelistas. Mi nombre es Angélica Ponce, soy la representante de Bolivia, junto a mi comitiva que está aquí también acompañándome, una de mis hermanas de las organizaciones sociales de Bolivia y por supuesto también como autoridades. Es muy importante poder escuchar todas esas propuestas que ustedes
We don't have
realizan.
translation from English to Spanish. I don't think so. Do we? Yes, we do. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Y me parece muy importante que estos financiamientos que está para el tema de género realmente nos va a ayudar muchísimo. En mi país, también nosotras las mujeres hemos revolucionado de una manera muy importante. Muchos años atrás, nosotras las mujeres en Bolivia no teníamos derecho ni a votar ni a estudiar, pero gracias a la revolución, gracias a la organización que las mujeres hemos retomado desde las comunidades, hoy por hoy también tenemos derecho a la tierra porque nuestra constitución política del Estado es realizado bajo nuestras necesidades. Pero lamentablemente los roles que marcan lo que es la constitución política a la práctica no es fácil. Es un reto más todavía, ¿no? Y dentro de eso, nosotras como mujeres de Bolivia damos conocimiento de que nuestras hermanas desde las comunidades donde nosotros representamos hoy por hoy como autoridades, somos mujeres que estamos ya adaptándonos al cambio climático, a la crisis climática, sin la ayuda que nos llegue. Pero ahora yo pienso que en estos escenarios globales También nosotros como Bolivia queremos tener esa ayuda correspondiente en nuestro estado para poder también nosotros desarrollar la adaptación correspondiente al cambio climático en tema de producción, en tema de poder empoderarnos como mujeres que damos vida, somos sensibles y realmente somos el pilar fundamental de las familias bolivianas y del mundo, ¿no? Como mujeres. Muchas gracias.
Thank you for your question. I hear a lot of questions on finance and access to finance. We have Agnes behind. No, sir, lady, please. This young lady has asked for the microphone for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to all the winners. I just want to, I have a question to our winner from India. Regarding documentation, recording, and analysis of data. I think in Uganda, working with the cooperative women, especially the rural women, we are really struggling with making sure that we document and have segregated data, sharing from what you said and mentioned, that you teach and actually empower women to have that kind of, information come through. I'm just wondering, what tools, and especially if they are rural women, how do you really support them to make sure that they participate in not only observing and recording, but the issue of analyzing and helping, helping out to see that the data comes out to inform, especially policy formulation, because really evidence is a challenge in our area. So I just wonder how you do that, and what technologies you use in communities that don't have access to, telephone, mobiles, what tools, what, for example, programs you use. That would really, really help us to understand. And I know for sure that we shall also have opportunities of exchange, because that's an area that we really, really want to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll take a last question here. Oh, you too. Sorry. Fatou?
Merci beaucoup. Félicitations à toutes les intervenantes, les lauréates. Moi, j'avais une question pour Madame Latifa, surtout par rapport aux cuiseurs. Je sais que c'est une technologie très intéressante et ça m'intéresse parce que moi, je travaille avec des femmes restauratrices qui utilisent beaucoup d'énergie. Donc, par rapport à votre initiative, est-ce que vous avez vraiment des contraintes pour le développement, surtout à grande échelle? Ma deuxième question va à Monsieur Galland de l'AFD. Vous savez que beaucoup d'organisations comptent sur l'AFD pour pouvoir vraiment travailler et mettre en place des projets qui s'impliquent vraiment sur les questions d'adaptation et d'atténuation. Mais aujourd'hui, le problème qui se pose, souvent, on a des projets, mais on a des subventions autour de 50% ou de 60%. Il faut courir de gauche à droite pour trouver encore des compléments, c'est-à-dire des partenaires. Donc, aujourd'hui, comment ces fonds pourraient vraiment être, le pourcentage pourrait être abordé plus long pour qu'on puisse vraiment en bénéficier davantage? Voilà mes deux questions. Merci.
Thank you. And our last question. I hope everybody has in their heads already to whom they answer.
Good evening. My name is Medina. I'm from Kenya, and I was one of the finalists of Gender Just Climate Solution Award in 2019. And currently I'm the Managing Director of Global Nature Conservation. So my question is, as one of the finalists of this award, what do gender and women constituency have to support the previous awardees or honorees? Yeah.
Excellent question, which I will answer right at the end of this side event. Thank you very much. So, let me turn maybe to you, since we've had several questions on access to finance. I don't know if maybe you also want to give your opinion as a local government, but let's first add to Mr. Galland.
I turn in French, if you don't mind. Has this very important question then.
En français, pas de problème.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Merci. Moi, je vous rejoins, madame, sur l'inquiétude du Sahel. Hein. C'est quelque chose sur lequel on est effectivement assez inquiet, pour le coup, et sur lequel, en tout cas aujourd'hui, l'AFD est encore présente dans de nombreux pays et n'a pas en fait, pour objectif de fermer les bureaux. En tout cas, les agences sont encore ouvertes et elles travaillent. Elles font leur travail aujourd'hui dans les situations que vous connaissez actuellement. Spécifiquement, peut-être pour vous rappeler qu'au Sahel, un fonds genre Sahel a été créé et initié à destination des associations féministes, en plus du fonds d'associations féministes que nous avons créé, sur lequel j'avais fait la présentation. Donc il y avait finalement 2 véhicules financiers qui pouvaient être dirigés, dont un spécifiquement centré sur le Sahel et mis avec nos partenaires d'Expertise France. Donc le travail continue, les fonds, en tout cas pour les organisations féministes dans cette partie, ont été présentés par notre agence régionale il y a très peu de temps, en lien avec l'activité et l'agenda Femmes, Paix et Sécurité. Et les applications ont été reçues assez récemment. Dans la procédure qui suivra, dans le second appel dont je vous ai fait part dans le cadre des prochaines années, nous n'avons pas aujourd'hui, à partir de 2023, encore défini toutes les règles techniques qui permettront finalement aux associations de candidater. Mais les cibles du fonds restent les mêmes, c'est-à-dire les organisations féministes locales. C'est vraiment les cibles du fonds féministe. Et on sait, et je vais rebondir sur votre question, on a beaucoup conscience que ce sont des petites associations qui n'ont pas forcément les capacités et les moyens en fait, d'avoir en fait, tous les requirements pour le fonds. Et c'est pour ça généralement, on demande à ce que ce soit plutôt des consortiums, c'est-à-dire qu'on pousse à ce que les organisations locales en fait, s'organisent elles-mêmes à travers des consortiums et que ce soit finalement un consortium qui puisse en fait à faire les application forms, mais aussi à répondre à des exigences à la fois réglementaires bancaires, parce qu'en fait c'est notre statut, donc on ne va pas se le cacher, hein, on est une banque, et d'autre part aux critères qui ont été mis en place dans le cadre du fonds. Mais la cible est bien là. Et le fait d'être en consortium, en fait, aide beaucoup, finalement, à répondre à ces appels. En tout cas, sur le nombre de demandes que nous avons eues aujourd'hui, les consortiums ont montré assez de flexibilité, en tout cas, pour recevoir les fonds et pour commencer le travail sur le terrain sur ces 3 dernières années. Même si, comme tout le monde l'a certainement signalé, effectivement, on a des problèmes de timing et de procédures qui sont là et sur lesquelles on travaille beaucoup, et sur lesquelles vous m'avez fait part, et vous n'êtes pas les seuls, hein, donc les coalitions d'ONG nous en font part aussi, et sur lesquelles on doit encore une amélioration apporter qui est en process. 50%, 60%, ce sont plutôt des appels à projets qui correspondent à ce qu'on appelle chez nous les fonds dédiés à la société civile. Et donc effectivement, ces 50%, ils ne sont pas là par hasard en fait. Ils nous permettent, nous, de financer des gens qui vont en fait avoir une capacité à se maintenir par la suite. Et il faut savoir qu'en fait, c'est important parce que ce critère-là, il permet en fait de nous dire que finalement, on va aussi financer des gens qui ne vont pas devenir en fait, uniquement dépendant de notre financement. Et donc, trouver des organisations en fait, qui sont assez autonomes et qui ne vont pas s'écrouler par la suite, c'est important pour nous parce que des organisations qu'on finance et qui s'écroulent, ce n'est pas ce qu'on cherche à faire, pour le coup. Et ce n'est pas l'objectif de développement. Donc ce critère-là, il existe depuis longtemps. Je sais qu'il a été, en tout cas, il est montré du doigt régulièrement, mais en tout cas, il garantit quand même une durabilité des actions permettant à ces organisations de rester sur le terrain, même si à un moment donné, elles doivent réduire. Ce n'est pas le cas du fonds féministe, et ça n'a pas été le cas du fonds Genre Sahel. Le fonds féministe, il n'a pas 50% à apporter. Il y a en fait juste une application form à rendre avec ce consortium, mais on ne vous demande pas. Ce qu'on demande au consortium, par contre, c'est d'être certains critères de durabilité, c'est-à-dire d'être là depuis un certain temps et d'exister, de prouver qu'effectivement ils ont les épaules pour recevoir certains fonds, pour le coup, et de les gérer convenablement avec un système d'audit, un système de comptabilité aux normes, et en fait aux normes bancaires, pour le coup. Mais il n'y a pas un apport sur ce fonds féministe à apporter, ça n'a pas été le cas du fonds genre Sahel non plus. Donc les 50%, c'est vraiment dédié aux organisations de la société civile sur ce véhicule financier spécifique dédié au siège.
Thank you. We can see that there are really some barriers. I would like to give the floor also to Mrs. Tina Völker, just 2 minutes. I think it will be difficult for all of us to answer, but I'm sure after the event you also have the chance to exchange.
Yeah, I will be really quick. As a regional government, of course, we usually use our funds to finance projects on our land, but we found a way to channel a little bit of funding to the UN and to the ACE Hub, the Action for Climate Empowerment Hub, which is an initiative of the UNFCCC ACE Hub team and Northern Westphalia. And we finance seminars and workshops, especially for young people. So if you have in your communities, it's not only for women, it's also for men, of course, but if you have communities between 18 and 35, you can apply for these seminars, which take place in North Rhine-Westphalia, in Bonn, also around the SPI. So you can find information on the ACE Hub on the UNFCCC website. So maybe that is of interest.
Thank you. So we see some awareness of the needs that are here, and some answers are being brought. Still, the level of needs are really immense. And I think we need to have some transformational approach to really understand that mechanisms have to be completely different to really address the needs that we have today. We measure, though, the difficulties of it. 2 minutes for Mrs. Dorothée and Latifa, maybe to answer the questions. Is it possible on the solar cooking? And then Dorothée was, cannot remember exactly, and then we will have to finalize. And also Delali. Oh, sorry, Bavia it was. Latifa, then Dorothée, then Bavia.
Ok. À propos de la question de Madame Fatou, c'est quelles sont les contraintes qu'on a vécues pendant notre travail, pendant notre projet ou bien notre coopérative. Donc avoir ces obstacles, c'est normal parce que on est parmi les premières coopératives qui travaillent dans ce type de projet au Maroc. Je peux dire qu'on est parmi les premiers, on est les premiers. Qu'on a fait la fabrication des solutions solaires, à savoir des cuiseurs solaires et séchoirs solaires. Donc, votre question, c'est sur les cuiseurs solaires. Donc, quand j'ai annoncé pendant mon intervention que la communauté ou bien la population locale ayant des doutes sur l'efficacité de cette solution-là, de cuiseur. Mais on cherche à trouver une solution qui est de faire la sensibilisation des gens, d'après faire des démonstrations de cuisson de plusieurs plats devant le public et au sein des universités aussi, au sein des écoles. Donc petit à petit, on a commencé, on arrive à convaincre les gens sur l'importance et l'efficacité des solutions solaires. Et à ce moment-là, on a trouvé beaucoup d'intérêt des gens et des femmes aussi pour avoir acheté ces cuiseurs-là. Donc je le trouve que c'est normal de trouver des obstacles au début.
Merci, Latifa. 1 minute pour Dorothée. On a un autre événement après. Malheureusement, on va être obligé de...
Merci beaucoup. L'accès à la terre ici, c'est une solution basée sur la nature. Parce que la terre est au centre de tout et on avait 2 mondes, les gouvernements à tous les niveaux, d'une part, et les communautés locales et peuples autochtones, spécifiquement la femme, d'autre part. Avec notre projet, nous sommes en train de cheminer maintenant ensemble pour que nous puissions faire asseoir les choses et les femmes et le gouvernement à tous les niveaux travaillent ensemble.
And Bhavya? Thank you. Oh, there's no mic. Okay.
Well, Agnes, I think that's a major question and the hurdle even we face when it comes with technology and women, especially indigenous women. One thing I want to make clear, the data is not statistically used as we do in our usual scientific works as a researcher. So there's a very simple database that we try to enumerate and many a time we analyze it in front of them with the output that we keep in mind like checklists, chart and some of the calendars that they can take back to their community and talk. And when it comes for the policy level, so for now it is also to feed into the management plans where at least they speak out saying that what they have seen. So one example in a very 1 minute if I have to give, we have a tree which we call gooseberries. It provides fruits which people value add for their economic purpose and also use it for the subsistence. So there's a parasite attack so that they are seeing, but the forest department never agrees onto it. So now the women are observing the tree in a more scientific way, collecting the data. So now with that data they can speak saying that okay, we have measured these many trees and this is the issue we have and here is the backup evidence. So this is one simple example, but we'll have time to interact more and I think I'll take that on.
I'm sure you have plenty to discuss outside. Thank you so much, Bhavya. I'll take the last question about what is there in the Women and Gender Constituency Program, the Gender Just Climate Solution Program, to support honorees, those who have been nominated for the awards. So on the next slide, I can talk 30 seconds on our mentoring program. Basically, what we do is invite all of the award winners every year back to come to COP. And I would like to ask all of our award winners from the previous years who are in this room to stand up now so that you can see that they are here. And with this mentoring program, we actually support them in meeting. An applause for them, thank you. Support them in meeting their delegations, but also raising all their capacities. So, and we have also created with the Women and Gender Constituency a scale fund, to which you can apply as honoree or even as awardee, to raise your capacities and to help you go towards this upscaling that you're looking for. So look for that on the website of the Women and Gender Constituency, and that's where you will find help and support. We have to really close this event now. I hand over the floor back to my colleague Kalyani from the Women and Gender Constituency.
Thank you, Anne. But I think after we heard all the awardees, the current awardees and the previous awardees, there is really nothing more to say than to say probably women speak for themselves. Women power speaks for themselves and they sort of exhibit it through the projects, through their work and through many other things. And that's what I think we need to celebrate. And so with that, I really thank all of you for being here today to celebrate the women power. And thank you all the awardees, the previous as well as the current ones, for giving us details. We learned a lot and we hope that we really wish you all the success for future. And we hope we'll come back next year with more ideas. And I think more of their innovations and upscaling ideas. Thank you once again, all of you. Have a good evening.
Power to the winners, 'cause the winner got the power. Winners, 'cause the winners got the power. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you hear it? Getting stronger by the hour.
Getting stronger by the hours.
Climate.
Justice.
Gender.
Justice.
Thank you.